Driving to save the world from the evil Decepticons, the heroic Autobots are led by Optimus Prime. He's more than meets the eye. He's a Rohan in disguise.
Rohan? Who is this guy? Rohan? The one and only Rohan!
Thank you, my friends! Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the corner. That is Rohan. And this week I thought about, 4 different areas of discussion that we could have. There's all sorts of things floating around in that mind of mine. I thought about, maybe I should do an episode on artificial intelligence. Press red if you'd like to see an episode on artificial intelligence. Or, alternatively, would you like to see an episode on the Combiners? Press blue if you'd like to see an episode on the Combiners. Or maybe we should have an episode on GoBots. Press green if you'd like to see an episode on GoBots. Well, actually, no. Unfortunately, we can't do all of that nonsense. Instead, everybody's talking about TFNation at the moment. The convention's coming up in just a couple of weeks. And I thought, you know what? When I first started doing Rohan's Corner, I was going to do a episode on Transformers conventions, and I never got around to it. So here we go. Let's do it now, shall we? Now, those of you who know me will know that I've never been to a TFNation convention. I have, however, been to 4 or possibly 5 auto assembly conventions through the years. I've also been to Roll Call, and at some point it is one of my holy grail desires to try and get out to the States and visit a convention out there. But ultimately, so far, I have been to primarily the auto assembly conventions. Running since 2000, these conventions started as a small gathering of Transformers fans. For those of you who have never been or don't know, it was just a couple of less than 100 people, I think the first one was, ultimately gathering in Birmingham in a small hotel to discuss Transformers and to maybe peruse some bits and pieces, buy some bits and pieces, meet other people from the community, and put on a video or two and enjoy themselves, with Sven and Simon Plum as the 2 main guys running the show. I didn't attend until 2004 when I was the ripe old age of 19. You can probably see me right here, looking good, with my brother in the background, as he always does. And we really went down there to have a look and see what it was all about. To us at that time, we didn't really have a community like we do today. There wasn't the real internet like there is today. There wasn't a lot of friend making going on online, and so it was just the 2 of us. We took a train up to Birmingham to a rather crappy hotel, it must be said, where we found trader stalls, we found a presentation area, we found some videos ongoing, but the best thing that I found at Auto Assembly 2004 was that they were rolling episodes of Generation 1. And you might think, oh, well, that's great, but, we've seen all of those. But in 2004, they were rolling episodes that I had never seen before, because I had only seen the episodes that had come out on VHS, or that had come out on Generation 2 reruns on Sky 1. I had never seen some of the episodes that they were rolling. In fact, they were rolling Changing Gears, where Ratchet is doing a flying kick through the jungle at Thundercracker, I believe, or no, Skywarp, is it? Who can tell us? Let us know. But ultimately, it was a wonderful experience to find out, whoa, there's all these extra episodes that I knew nothing about. And I spent the next 5 to 10 years roaming around pawn shops in the United States, not the type of pawn shops you're thinking about, pawn thrift shops in the United States, picking up VHS cassettes of the very early episodes of predominantly Season 1, things like SOS Dinobot and the such like. You might see some pictures of my old VHS collection up here. Anywho, that was 2004. The next time I would attend Auto Assembly would be much later, 4 years later down the line, in 2008, after I had actually been employed by Hasbro. And I had this issue where between 2005 and 2008, being employed by Hasbro, I was unable to be any kind of recipient for talking about Transformers in any way, shape or form, because I'd gotten into trouble when I was at Hasbro for doing that. And so they told me, you naughty boy, you better not do that again. So, with their blessing in 2008 and a whole crate full of Transformers too. They sent me up to the event. They paid for it as well. Hats off to them, with some pretty cool exclusive giveaway items. The resin statues of the animated figures that we had in 2008. Those were very cool and gathered a lot of attraction from fans. Hopefully some of you saw me there. There are a load of other Transformers as well, which we were then given to keep and ultimately sell, which ones we didn't want. So that was 2008. I did the same thing again in 2009, even though I had left Hasbro at this point and I was now working for a new company. I was still in touch with the right people and I was able to get that sort of organised again, did it again. And then there was a bit of a hiatus. I think the next one I went to was 2011 or 12, I can't remember rightly. But ultimately, it was one of my last ones where I was selling bits and pieces on my own stand, not for Hasbro. I remember selling all my alternators and such like. And by this point, Auto Assembly had been running for several years now, 6, 7, 8 years, and it had garnered quite an attraction. We were going up to the 1,000 people mark, and I remember at some stage there was a auction, a charity auction. I bought some signed autograph photos of Jack Angel and Ultra Magnus, and also there was an auction for Beast Machine's Optimus Minor, one of the most hated figures in the world, and people were basically stamping on him and torching him to light. I mean, it was a mint and sealed card figure, but yeah, he got the treatment. So that was my experience of Auto Assembly. I didn't actually get to another Transformers convention for almost 10 years until during the pandemic last year. I managed to get out to Roll Call and met a few of the great people who are watchers of the show. I'm not going to name you all, but Rudy, Brad, RJ, just to name a few. If I missed anyone, sorry, Dave. But there are loads of people there that I met, and Russ, who are good friends of mine now, and I look to them every week and enjoy their time on the show. And ultimately, I really enjoy Roll Call in the sense that it was a much smaller kind of convention, much different kind of conventions. G.I. Joe and Transformers combined. There were little panels going on for G.I. Joe and a little bit on Transformers. About 6 stalls, but basically all the cool stuff. The store down there who run the convention had their own stall with all the Transformers that you would think of were available at the time and brand new anyway, and a few older ones, and then a couple of random collectors and traders out there. Now for me, always going to a Transformers convention was about going to find the bargains. I was always about what can I get which I don't have in my collection, what can I get that I really need or want or just like the look of. Generation 2 kind of bits and pieces would probably be the kind of things I'd be looking for right now. But if I go to a Auto Assembly or a TFNation these days, it's probably to pick up newer stuff. And I'm thinking, wait, which newer stuff do I need? I mean, I've had a plethora of deliveries in the last week. I've had the RP44 Thomas has come through. I've had the Mechanic Studio or Metfans Toys Amy RC over there. Obviously, Magic Square's Ironhide wasn't long ago, and Ryu or Ratchet is surely winging its way to me right now. It's supposed to be here today or tomorrow. So loads and loads of stuff coming through. At the same time, from a Hasbro perspective, I picked up skids from the Legacy line. I also picked up Kickback up there just yesterday, as well as a couple of sweeps from Star Action figures. I haven't been collecting as many of the Hasbro bots, but there is a huge load that are obviously hitting the shelves right now and are available, and so if I do make a TFNation either as a seller or as a buyer, then they will be on my radar. But if they're just retail price, am I going to pick them up? I might pick up 1 or 2, but am I really going to pick up loads of them? Probably not, because it'd be easier just to have them delivered to me in the post or to find a discounted price on some of them once they get discounted, as they do after a while. So, my question to all of you is, what are you looking forward to at TFNation? For me, I've never really been one who's into the panels and all the people presenting and all the artists. I'm not into the comics, as you know, so I don't really have any affiliation with any of that. Some of the voice actors that come through from the cartoons, yeah, sure, that's great. Seeing people like Greg Berger and Dan Gilvezan over the years. Excellent, great to see these people and meet them. Meeting at TFUKCon this year, the two wonderful talents that are Ben's KO Collectibles and Thew. Those are people I really enjoyed meeting. But again, they're not things that are going to attract me to pay more for an event because they're there. It'd be just like meeting other people. So for me, going to TFNation, spending £45 to get in on Saturday to the trader tables and costing me an additional £35 to £40 in fuel and then £5 in lunch and then buying a bot, that's over 120 quid just to go and buy one transformer. It seems a bit silly. If I can get there as a seller, it might make sense, but again, the prices are ridiculously high. So we'll see. I know that a lot of people are psyched about meeting people, which is great, although you could just meet your friends and that wouldn't cost you anything if you went somewhere to meet them. You wouldn't have such a large community and a rock party and all these other things that they're offering. But, how many of you guys are going for that? I don't know. I'm not. But, yeah, hey, what do you all think? What's your biggest attraction to TFN for this year? How many of you are going? How many of you are not? Do you think it's getting expensive? Would you prefer just a meetup, which is kind of what they're doing, right, with their mini-meet, or the TFUKCon, which went on earlier this year? These smaller events, which are much more cost effective, and meet up with your friends and have a good time and whatever. Whereas I think the panels and things like that are starting to get a little bit out of hand personally. And the trader tables are diminishing because people are just not buying because you can buy it online. Why would you go all the way to Birmingham to buy something you can buy from the comfort of your own chair on your own backside? Anywho, for another week, I've been Rohan. I hope you've enjoyed. Catch you again next week. Back to the studio.
Transformers, Rohan's in disguise.